Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the very first episode of the Super Fun Podcast. This is a show dedicated to exploring and discussing our favorite games, the culture of gaming as a whole, as well as the future of the industry. This week's episode will feature The Division, Destiny, and a few other surprises. Welcome to the show. Hello, my name is Apologia, but you can call me AP.
Hello, my name is I am Groot60, but you can call me Groot.
Hello, I'm Ezio4003, just Ezio works.
My name is Panda. You can call me Pandemonium or Panda.
Hello, my name is Wild Zappasnoo. You can call me Zappasnoo, just no wild.
Zaptastic.
No Zaptastic.
So, this is our first episode, and we're gonna kind of introduce ourselves. So, Tyler, who are you, and how'd you get into gaming?
I am an avid gamer. I've always been starting off since the Game Boy Color, playing Pokemon back in the retro days. Eventually moved on to the Xbox 360 in my later years of being a adolescent teenager. Got into the big Halo crowd and just kind of started playing from there, and ever since then it's just been an upward spiral of having an addiction to gaming. My main goal is to help connect gamers in a unique way, and it's basically just helping people become more social amongst gaming.
Cool. What about you, Ezio?
I've pretty much been a gamer almost since the age of 2, when my dad gave me his old Game Boy. Then I got the Game Boy Color and, like Groot, started playing on Pokemon. Then I moved up to GameCube and PlayStation 2 later on. Then Xbox 360, so on and so forth. And I've pretty much had every game system ever since.
Very nice. And Panda Snoo.
Alright, so, yeah, as you heard, Gabe called me that. And that's perfectly fine. Just anything with Panda is really good. But, well, to start off, back in kindergarten, when I was 5 years old, I got a Game Boy SP, and I played Mario on that for a couple years. Then a couple years later, got a Nintendo DS, and played on that for a while. But I met this friend of mine named Jordan, and he introduced me to console gaming. So I eventually ended up getting an Xbox 360, and I played on it for a couple years. Upgraded to the Xbox One, which I'm currently still playing on. I don't have a PlayStation, but I'm quite fine with Xbox. And since about summer of 2015, I've been a member of Super Fun People, and I've actively played with them for a majority of that time. And I'm fully ready to make this community a lot better for people.
Sweet. All right, what about you, Zap?
Well, I started off as PlayStation 1 and just playing, what was that game? It was like, I don't really remember the name, but I started off on PlayStation 1 and then ended up moving to the original Xbox, and I had the PlayStation 2 at the same time. But I favored Xbox more than PlayStation at that time, and just moved over towards the Xbox side. And whenever I finally got my 360, I was pretty interested in Call of Duty, and I got into competitive, and just that's one skill that I carry with me, and I still am a competitive Call of Duty player up to now on Xbox One and Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Shout out to those Twisted Metal days back on the PS1.
Oh, man.
God, dude.
Oh, that
My
game
first
was
shooter.
Dude,
awesome.
the Halo Reach days on 360 were my stuff with freaking my friends.
Absolutely, man.
All right, and what about you, AP?
Thank you. By the way, for those who have trained ears, you may have noticed that we've accidentally called each other by our first names at times. That's okay. We all know each other pretty well, but we're choosing to go by our gamer tags. So I am AP once again, and I have been gaming pretty much the first game I ever played that wasn't Pokemon on a Game Boy. My oldest brother was huge into Final Fantasy VII. Like if any of you have played that, if anyone listening has ever played that, it's a PlayStation 1 game that revolutionized RPGs and really set the standard for what an RPG can actually be. And he maxed that game out to the point. Again, only true nerds will get this reference. But he had 3 maxed out Knights of the Round, final attack with Phoenix. He got himself a save point right in front of Ruby Weapon just so he can kill him whenever he wants on command. So he passed that game off to me. I played it, and it was one of the best games I ever played in terms of story and character. From that point on, I started picking up console games, GoldenEye on Nintendo 64, my first shooter, the glory days. And pretty much didn't become a serious gamer, or at least one who could do anything competitive until Halo 2. I won't tell you my whole life story with that, but Halo 2 and Halo 3, I actually really hunkered down to try and master shooting and tactics and becoming a better player. Now I've been playing a lot of Destiny. I've been playing The Division, getting back into Call of Duty so I can play with Zapasnu. And yeah, that's who I am. So now that you all know who we are, why don't we get into our first subject, which is The Division. What are your guys' first thoughts, things you like, things you dislike?
Okay, well, if you don't mind me going first. First thoughts on the game. I love how open world this game is. I mean, the map is so diversive. The only downfall that I don't enjoy about it is the PvE map. Once you hit level 30 is kind of, you don't have much to do in regards of just helping your friends out throughout the levels and such, with that. But, the
That
great...
map expansion coming soon.
Yep, that is true. They had that out of map glitch, which many people got to investigate. And my major like is probably the Dark Zone right now. For some reason, the Division grind just gets me going. What's your opinions on it, Ezio?
Pretty much the same. I've heavily enjoyed playing all the PvE areas, doing the dailies and everything whenever I hop on when I have the chance to play the dailies. Dark Zone's pretty entertaining. I've had the misfortune of not being on at the same time when other people are free, so I haven't been able to go to high level areas. But it's fun going in there when there's not a bunch of rogues trying to ruin your day.
Oh God.
Yeah, that is very true.
Rogues.
Rogues are fun, especially when they're in manhunt status and sniping you down an alley.
Oh yeah, they won't let you get any no high ends.
Yes.
One thing.
Personally, the Division, like the funnest part for me right now is definitely the Dark Zone, like many of us. But like my favorite part about that is hunting down people who have the good stuff. That's my favorite part.
I keep wanting to go rogue and be that guy, but I just can't bring myself to do it, partly because of the risk. And it's not as bad now since they patched it, but like I'm never going to go rogue deliberately on my main, which is why I'm creating an alt whose sole purpose is to kill people in the Dark Zone, and I don't care about his Dark Zone rank.
Yeah, I mean and the grind to level 50 is a little bit long, but it's worth it in the end once you can get that Navy MP5 that the DZ6 vendor sells. I mean that thing just, from what I heard, just tears through people right now.
We'll find out soon.
Transfer over the weapons in the stasher now.
Yeah,
You can.
Yes.
And yeah, dude, you need to get level 50, like on your main, and then like get the Tenebrae, and then transfer it.
Tenebrae is decent. It could be a better marksman rifle, but it's just like the Police MK17. Its damage it's like a low impact, high rate of fire sniper.
Yeah, the great thing about the MK17 is if you put a magazine attachment on it that extends your magazine, you can get that thing upwards towards 40 shots, which is nice. It makes up for the lack of damage and impact that it does cause at certain situations. But I find myself rocking an M1A right now.
Yeah,
I'm still rocking the Vector.
Well, tell me this: why would you ever tell me a situation where you would need a marksman rifle with 40 rounds in the clip, where you'd be using those rounds that wouldn't be better suited using an assault rifle or a submachine gun?
Facing a rogue this far away.
That's very true.
Or else down the block a ways.
In that case, I'd much rather have a slower fire rate.
With an assault rifle
Well,
most of the time.
But then why?
there is a talent that you can get on marksman rifles that gives it perfect accuracy. Like, you know how the hipfire reticle, it zooms out every shot you take. There's a talent that you can get that I've rolled before once that makes that hipfire reticle stay centered the whole time you're
Yeah, you
shooting.
told me about that.
I wonder
One
just
thing I think that should really be fixed about the shooting in this game is that one glitch where they turn their back all the way around and they're shooting at the ground. It gets on my nerves visually.
There's something that I dislike, and it's very small, but it's every time. It's like it just kind of pulls a little bit of the wind out of my sails when I'm playing, and that's the scopes. There's not only a complete and utter lack of visual diversity in the scopes in terms of like what it looks like aiming down sight, but they're not even like that interesting. I spend a lot of time sniping, and there's one scope, and it's just gray circle lines for crosshairs, no diversity, and
I
I don't
think
know.
because we're used to Destiny's variety of scopes, and almost every scope, most scopes that I've seen in Destiny at least, are very quite a bit. So we know how different they are. Vision has like, I haven't seen too many, but like 3, maybe 4 different long range scopes that with different appearances, and everything else is just slightly close to the shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just like more diversity there, and it's not that big a deal, but it's just one of the. And you're right, it is part of it's because we're coming from Destiny. But even if there was just one marksman rifle scope, but it looked interesting, that would be fine. But the case is that it's not really.
Honestly, I would like to see custom reticles actually implemented in the game eventually. I think that would add a lot more diversity to those scopes and a lot more customization, kind of make you feel like you're making your own gun.
Totally.
Rather than just putting a new skin on it. I'd like to see implementations like that kind of added into eventually into the game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like I've seen some other games like Call of Duty and everything, where you can make your own reticule. Like I think you can have like a skull and crossbones or heart or something. That would be kind of interesting for something like Division.
Yeah.
Well, there's also another thing that I've noticed in a earlier Tom Clancy game. You guys remember Ghost Recon Future Soldier? That game, if you were to click the right stick, you would actually aim into the sight no matter what weapon you were using. Like what reticle, I mean. Iron sights or a red dot or ACOG or scope or anything. In the Division, you just give a little zoom if you have a small optic, and if you have like a Russian ACOG or something like that, it will zoom in. But I think that you should be able to go straight to first person whenever you zoom in and use the reticle
I agree.
for your weapons.
Something else that would be cool too is like kind of more like interesting weapon camos. Like I know right now, like the most vibrant one that I currently have is a solid orange camo. I'd like to see one where it added like one of those like old school like bomber plane kind of like the shark faces, onto your gun. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is in there yet because I haven't personally come across it yet, but I don't think it is because I have done a lot of grinding on bosses and stuff. But is maybe possible skins dropping from bosses and characters
cool.
and stuff?
Yes, there are skins dropping from bosses. I got a red, white, and blue skin.
Is there?
From a boss drop in a daily.
Okay.
I haven't gotten any. So
I haven't gotten any either. Okay, so
I wouldn't have known.
that's good to know then.
You know what I think they should add? They should add an additional, like, you know how you have the sidearm or a sawed-off shotgun?
Yeah.
They should add an
Like a
additional
knife.
weapon type. I want ninja stars. Give me ninja stars.
I know we're not Warframe in this game.
Bro, or throwing knives. I'll take the tactical throwing hatchet that I love so very much
So would you
in
like-
Black
Oh,
Ops
no,
3.
dude.
Would you like to see?
Tomahawks?
Yeah.
Freaking Call of Duty.
Oh, so good.
Combat axe.
Yeah,
So much fun.
Maybe just like a melee kind of class type deal that
Have
you
a
could.
melee weapon, like a baseball bat.
Yeah,
or
something like that. I mean, they hit
Like
us with
Machete.
Yankees written on it.
golf clubs. Why can't we hit them back with them?
Well, I feel like
For real.
Let's pick up a high-end golf club, guys.
what if you could pick up, like, if somebody charges after you with a baseball
What
bat
I'm
and you
saying,
kill him?
why can't we pick up those freaking like sniper rifles that the snipers are using from the rioters?
It's very true.
They use them MK.
The very
yeah,
interesting
MK14s.
in the Lincoln Tunnel mission, dude. Why can't we pick up those things? Those things will freaking down you on challenge mode.
That's very true.
Maybe we just disconnect those like automated turrets and just carry them with us, like in Halo, when you unhinge a turret and just walk around with it.
I feel like that would be overkill.
Yeah, that
Oh,
would
man.
be a little bit too much.
It's nice.
Walks up to the turret, pulls it off. All right, let me show you how I feel.
Time to go into the dark zone. Hoorah.
Yep.
That would be terrifying in the dark zone. I would not go near anybody.
Like the turrets from the freaking LMB with the little lasers. Take one of those, like just like an over shoulder turret. You know, just carrying it on your shoulder. It's time
Man,
to kill some people.
those things get so annoying. I was helping somebody through a mission the other day, and it when you go into a mission with somebody who's a lower level than you, it upscales it to like level 25 and stuff like that. So I'm not used to level 25 stuff killing me or downing me because the bullets knock off of me like marshmallows basically. And those turrets do damage on you even if you're doing a level 25 mission and you're at level 30. They do damage. It's quite impressive. The only downfall is that, what I think they should add in terms of the missions when you're running with a lower level is maybe like a damage intake reduction for the other player that you're playing with, and maybe like something to balance out the health and the weapon damage, so they can actually play with you in it. It's not just you carrying them, basically.
Like how Gears of War 2 and 3 did it, where you could be playing with another person, and you could be playing on Sandy, and they could be playing on normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like Diablo. Diablo 3 had a system in place where it basically artificially inflates the lower player's stats to be on par with the higher level.
Yeah.
So they can play, and the gear will still drop at their level, but they can at least play as though it was at their level. And it's a pretty cool system.
Yeah. I'm really hoping, though, biggest feature that I would be most excited about at this point, though, would be trading. That is what I am really looking forward to when they add it, and I'm hoping it soon. The only problem is going to be balancing it, and I think the best way they can do that is probably value-based items. So if I'm
what I was saying, or like economy-based trading,
exactly, like if I'm
like how rare, like on CS:GO, how rare something is
determines its
immediately
trade value.
affects, yeah, exactly, how much you can buy it for on the market with
Exactly.
real
Like,
money.
I can't just trade you like a caduceus or like a green gun or something like that, or a superior gun. It has to match that value.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe something high end or better,
Yeah, exactly.
or like whatever its credit number is currently.
Exactly. That would that would be perfect. Just that economy-based trading right there would be an improvement to it. That's something that I can't see going on in Destiny because, with Destiny it's kind of like you get you get that exotic gun, you can rebuy it from the vendor, and you can't really get like a different kind of like roll on it and stuff with certain
One
specs.
thing they really need to do though, if they're gonna keep on like with that, is they do not need to add, like in CS:GO, how it works is like it is economy based, or how rare the weapon is to immediately affect its value. But they need to make it, if they're gonna do economy based trading, to where it is from like random drops only. It's from drop rates only, so it's not pay to win like it is in CS:GO. Because if you pay, you basically buy cases with real money, and then you have a chance to get the practically the best weapon in the game, depending on what that is.
I would really hope they wouldn't add that. I don't see them adding it just based on the atmosphere of the game already. It's mainly RNG based right now, and I think from what I've seen they're gonna keep it that way.
I hope so.
Me too. I like it the way it's right now.
One thing I wouldn't mind if they added it in for paying was more of those cool looking the clothes packs that you can buy, like the one for the like the military and stuff that you can go into like in the store and buy.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's like for like a cop or like an FBI unit or something.
Yeah, I'd like
or, like maybe even like riot control. That'd be really cool if they did that.
Usually I'm against microtransactions in regards to that, but for something like that, I can totally see it being okay, just because it's going to add to, helping them budget their future expansions and stuff like that, since it's just a fresh game. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
What do you guys think the incursion on that's hidden there on the bottom right of the screen is going to be?
Didn't they change the name from incursion to something else?
Did they?
Yeah, Stronghold.
I don't think so.
It's
okay.
It's called Stronghold.
Oh.
That's like it.
It'd be like a raid or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Or it could be
speculation.
just one of
That's
those,
what I
like,
think.
you know, side missions where you go in and it says eliminate the stronghold. It could be like a really big one of those.
Yeah, I mean, there's I can't remember the game, but I remember that there were strongholds in it where you would go into it, and the first part of it would be breach through the entrance. Then after you did that step, it would say step 2, clear out all the enemies. It would go through their own kind of mini missions and objectives throughout throughout it all.
We're talking about ESO. Are you talking about Elder Scrolls?
It may be. I'm not sure.
I remember somebody reading up on something the other day that somebody actually glitched into the last stronghold area. I didn't read too much up on it, but I don't know if they found anything on it or such. Has anybody heard anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
I've heard about people getting out of the map down there, but past that I haven't heard anything about that stronghold.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more raid based, but I'd like to see, because right now the boss fights are really kind of just like point and shoot, hide behind cover and stuff like that.
Yeah, they feel like bullet sponges where you just wait for an opportunity to do damage as fast as possible.
Yeah,
sounds like something else, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's Destiny Year 1 basically when it comes to that. The boss, like when I kill a boss, I don't get that satisfaction of saying like, hey, that was really fun. Like I get that from Destiny Year 2 and such.
What, you don't like spending 45 minutes pumping bullets into Valista Arik only to have him wipe you with his heavy Gatling gun?
My God.
That's the best time ever.
No, dude. No.
But
No thanks. I'd rather hide up in the lamp and be safe.
We'll get to Destiny soon, but
We will.
actually, do you mind if I wildly speculate for a second?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Go ahead, but I have a topic I'd like to discuss.
Okay, so in the last mission in the Division, we fight a helicopter as the last boss. And there's actual kind of mechanics where you can activate the turrets for a short period of time. They pump out a bunch of extra damage, help you take them down a little bit safer. Now, number one, so one speculation is what if an incursion boss could be another armored vehicle, like, say, fighting a tank?
That's what I was thinking that. Just them.
Speculation number two. What if, and probably not for this first one, but maybe in the future of the Division, what if there's some kind of a mechanic where we get to be in a vehicle? Like we're in a helicopter, we have one person flying, we got like 2 people on turrets, and then a few people like just firing their own guns from the helicopter, something like that. You guys think they could do that in a game like this?
I think they could. I think it would take a lot of dedicated programming to make that happen, but I mean, based upon what we've seen with this game already, I mean, besides the front windshield's not destroying, I think they could do it. I just think it's not something that, I mean, maybe it is something that we'll see coming up in the Stronghold, but that would really add a really nice, interesting boss mechanic. At the end of that, if I beat that, that would be like oh wow, I just did that. That's pretty awesome. Like with when you fight the helicopter in the General Assembly, it's kind of just like you can hide in the storage boxes, the red storage boxes in the corner of the map, and just kind of dodge all the missiles and such. So that boss fight I find could be intriguing if there wasn't so much camping on the inside of the map. But besides that, everything else is, it kind of just reminds me of Destiny Year 1.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of this game is reminding me of Destiny Year 1. How they're kind of scrambling to fix some of the bugs and the errors, how there's the not super exciting end game, feels a bit repetitive, the loot grind, the RNG. There's a lot of things that did better, but a lot of the issues that it's kind of running into is we're trying to explore the somewhat, sparse end game.
I know, and glitching out of areas on the designated map.
Oh, they never did that in Destiny.
Yeah, they did. They did it for the Hive moon raid.
I know. I'm just playing.
It's not Hive, but the one with what was it? It's the catch on the moon.
Oh,
it was in House of Wolves.
Oh, okay.
I remember seeing videos of people getting into that area, and
yeah, back in the day, like back in freaking
Tenix.
Yeah, Tenix. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the strike for the life of me, dude.
But yeah, I've been having a lot of deja vu with Division and Destiny, except that the Division feels like a more polished Destiny Year 1, with the loot being a little bit more forgiving, and the Dark Zone being a little bit an interesting concept. Otherwise, I do feel like I'm playing a modern day, more polished Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to blame just one entity for your crappy RNG.
Yeah.
Wahoo!
And the thing that I like about the Division that's different from Destiny is the crafting system. That's something that really intrigues me and brings me and drags me into the Division is that crafting system. That's something that I feel could be added into Destiny, but at the same time it couldn't if they could balance it somehow. But I'm really loving that about the Division. It's just the ability just to sit there, gather materials, and just keep re-rolling to get the best possible roll out of crafting those guns and those attachments.
It makes everything that you find useful, even if it's just a small use.
Exactly.
It's useful.
Exactly.
Videos of people talking about crafting ideas for Destiny. And I feel like one of these people worked in the Division because one of the ideas that I heard was breaking down weapons you find to get weapon parts and certain materials. And that's exactly what happened in Division. So I almost feel like one of them saw the idea and said, hey, let's do that.
Yeah, rather than just dismantling, guns in Destiny right now and just being able to upgrade the different perks and such on them, maybe use it for
Yeah.
something else.
I feel like what would happen is what I feel like is you get certain materials and also need weapon parts that are already in the game to make weapons, but that
Yeah.
you have to choose if you want to use the weapon parts to upgrade a current weapon or use it to craft a new one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's a feature that they should definitely consider.
Well, actually, real quick, I have to draw one more parallel between Division and Destiny, and
Right.
Loot Cave, ironically, would satisfy that. But this is a different one. I have to say, both between Destiny and the Division, I felt very unsatisfied at the conclusion of the last story mission, but I would say even more so with the Division.
Yeah,
Like-
I can agree with that.
Because with Destiny, you at least felt like you at least stemmed what the darkness and
Well-
like you did something, even if it was a little bit lukewarm. With Division, I feel like I did a mission.
Yeah, like with Destiny, like as last mission, I felt like I conquered. Even in year one, I felt like I conquered the world when I finished that last mission. With the Division, it's kind of just left on a cliffhanger, you know?
It needs more cutscenes. I'm telling you.
You talking about?
it does.
Did you guys go around and collect all the intel around the map
I'm
and get
still-
all the virus reports and everything?
I'm still in the
Yes.
process of doing that.
That
Yeah.
explains a lot of the Division story.
It explains the setting, like how we got here.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm referring to in terms of disappointment is kind of there's this dude. Is it Aaron Keener? Is that the villain?
Yes, Aaron Keener is the
So it just kind of
main antagonist.
it just
the
kind of
Division.
ends with like, oh, well, he's still out there. So it felt like the last story mission
Spoiler alert, by the
got
way.
complete. Oh, shh. It felt like the last mission is actually the next mission, and it kind of got cut off. And they're like, okay, we're gonna give this to you in DLC. It just didn't feel like with Destiny. You knew when you got to the end, like, okay, I'm not satisfied. Stranger, give me some answers. This can't be the end. It's just starting to get interesting. But with the Division, it's like it didn't even do that. Like,
Yeah.
It's just he's gone. Well, go kill people in the Dark Zone, I guess.
And what the problem with the Division story was, it didn't drag me in as much as I had wanted it to. I mean, I was kind of dragged through all the missions just to kind of like get leveled up with everybody's level at level 30, so I was kind of carried. And I did a couple of the first missions by myself, and I don't know, there was just something about it that felt missing. At least with Destiny Year 1, even though the story was lacking and it was kind of not that great in terms of, the Taken King story, I was still somewhat dragged into the Destiny Year 1 story. It incapacitated. It got me attached to my Guardian and my Ghost.
Yeah.
Long
Yeah.
live Dinklebot.
Long live Dinklebot.
Oh my god.
Man,
No, the Division story. It wasn't too dramatic either.
Yeah,
Basically, success after success, practically.
pretty much.
Almost.
There was no fallback. There was no,
Much.
nothing, no failures. Pretty much, it was just like you said, success after just killing bosses and winning.
Go get this guy's files. Oh, we were able to get into his computer.
Yeah.
One comparison of it's a strange one that I've seen very rarely talked about is the difference in soundtracks. I feel like Destiny had a much better like soundtrack playing as you were fighting these bosses. I can remember almost vividly the music that played when you fought the last boss of the year one story, and especially the one when you fought Oryx.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it just made the moment feel so much grander. In the Division, I didn't get that feeling. The music didn't seem to shift or sound. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember any music from the Division. Like, none of it really sticks out, but I can remember.
Yeah, same here.
There's this one story mission where you're inserting like on Venus, sorry, going to Destiny, where you're inserting the Gate Lord's eye into this little thing, and this conflux-like structure kind of opens up, and all the pieces kind of start circling it, and there's this really like mysterious, ominous music playing, and I remember that vividly, but there's nothing in the Division in terms of music or
I'm gonna
audio.
tell you what I remember vividly from the Division. There's two things. Attention, you have disavowed the Division. You are now Moses Road. That's one thing. And two is the audio cue when you enter into the dark zone of that freaking staticky mess.
That
I
is true.
hate it so much.
That is,
It
yeah.
gets on my nerves.
Yes, I will agree with that.
You know what I remember vividly?
Hmm.
One of your squad mates is down.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh no! They've killed Alex.
Challenge
They got
that.
Alex.
They got TJ, man.
Oh man.
They got Alex.
Man,
Oh, yeah.
Those are
It's
those are
like-
the only
That is like all you
only-
hear every time.
if I had a-
only
They got Alex.
If I
variable.
if I had a
audio
penny for every time I've killed an Alex, I'd be a millionaire by now.
And the world would be out of Alex's. They'd
Like-
all be gone.
Oh my
I don't know,
God.
man. They just keep popping up on the map, so I'm convinced there's an infinite supply of Alexes.
They're cloned. I'm telling you, dude. It's Bush did it.
Well, with the technology that they have in this game, you know,
this
I
is
wouldn't
Star
doubt
Wars all over again.
it.
Oh my
jeez.
Star Wars the Clone
Now, this
Wars
is
right
where
there,
it
man.
started. We're in that alternate universe right now in a galaxy far, far away. They started cloning Alexes.
With the sole purpose of running at us with baseball bats.
Yep.
Jango Fett's gonna come along soon.
Yep.
He's gonna clone and he's gonna have a son.
Okay,
Spoilers.
before we go on to Destiny and talking about that, the last thing is, how do you feel about everyone looking for these loot caves in Division?
Can I go first on this one?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so I've got a very strong stance on the ethics of loot caves. I think, because I got an encounter, like an instance the other day where a guy was blocking a door in a safe house, trying to block people from
I did
going to do the Bullet King thing, and I was actually on my way to go do an encounter at that time. And I couldn't get through, and I sent him a message. I was just like, hey, could you just move out of the way from me real quick? And he sent back with, yeah, sorry, I'm trying to block people from doing the Bullet King thing. And his stance was like, it ruins the game for people. And like my stance on that is like, I think if people want to ruin the game for themselves, let them determine that, and let the devs determine if they want to fix it. I don't think individual gamers out there should be trying to determine the gaming aspect of it for them, for those other people. If people want to do loot caves, let them do loot caves. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. That's my stance on it. I think it's up to the gamer and up to the devs to decide whether they want to patch it or not, rather than these gamers try and block 15 people at a time from exiting a door.
I remember
most-
people would just sit down in the loot cave on Earth and Skywatch in Destiny.
Yeah.
And just
That
sit
was the
there and
reason
wave
that
at you
they-
and then dance. It was so freaking taunting. It got annoying.
That was the reason why.
That was the reason why Bungie patched it too.
Yeah, because so many. It wasn't because of the actual loot that people were getting. It was because people were complaining about people blocking that entrance. So they're like, okay, we're gonna try to get rid of these complaints and try to make some people happy, and we're just gonna take out the loot cave. And then people found the other loot cave, and the same thing happened.
So, Groot, I do agree with you for the most part, but I would like to play devil's advocate.
Absolutely.
What if for example, let's say Bullet King. I mean, I know we've had some anecdotal experience of him dropping one particular high-end gun. Is it the Tenebrae?
No, it's the
Caduceus.
Caduceus.
And that's the
Caduceus.
Caduceus, and he dropped it 4 times for me.
Yeah, we're not gonna get salty about that again. But
Shut up.
ACL all over the place.
so here's my counterpoint. Let's say that happened to be like kind of the meta in terms of the best gun in the game. Like, let's say he dropped the Midas pre-nerf. Now, most people want to get their hands on this gun. Farming him in this situation would be the most effective way, and you get one maybe way faster than 90% of the gaming population because you just farmed this boss when they didn't, and then you go into the Dark Zone and have an advantage over other players. Is that ethical?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, if you put it that way, it's not really ethical in terms of that. But at the same
Still.
time, you could say, you know, why didn't
Took their
those
time to
other
farm it.
people do it to try and farm it for themselves? You know, that's
Because they want to play the game, not farm a boss.
just true.
Still, I mean, it's technically it's not as bad because they spent their time doing it. No matter, I mean, I know Zap over here. He spent like what over
5
three,
hours.
3.5, yeah, 4 5 hours maybe getting his first catechus. When I had by that time gotten 3. So it depends on how much work you put in grinding the loot cave. But personally, I find it a bit boring. So
I think I'm one of the few that don't mind that kind of grind, quite honestly, because I've got the patience level to
Same.
tolerate it.
I've played this Gaia. That proves that I'm good at grinding games.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not gonna lie, I took advantage of it myself.
Yeah.
You know,
But mainly for like the crafting materials and credits mainly.
yeah, I mean let's I wanna kind of put this out there. A lot of people are calling it an exploit. It's not really an exploit because it was an actual mechanic inside of the game that was operating the way it was supposed to at that time. If it was an exploit, there'd be some kind of malicious thing going on with that, you know, modifying the code or something like that to actually make
getting
it do
into
that.
a wall and shooting people through it.
Exactly,
Or
but this,
unplugging your internet on Crota.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, this is
That was an
Or
exploit.
climbing over a block through a gate.
yeah, it's not.
Pushing Templar and Atheon off the ledge.
Yes,
Oh, that's
that one
good
was,
times.
that
Good
one was a
times.
good
Okay,
time.
let's just shove him with our solar grenades. Shove him.
Dude, if he's afraid of our solar grenades, he deserves to fall off a cliff.
I'm scared of fire.
But you know, like to me, that's not an exploit. That's a game mechanic working as it's supposed to.
To clarify, you mean the loot cave.
Yes,
Exploit,
exactly.
not-
The Luke
not Atheon.
Bullet King. Yeah, Bullet King.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's up to each individual person if they think it's right for them to do it. But overall, like as a objective line, I personally feel like if doing so gives you a direct advantage over other players, I think that you shouldn't do it. But given that in the division, like the game, or the gun that it can drop, the specific high end, isn't so good. Like you can, in the time it takes you to get that high level, you have access to other avenues to get guns that are as good or better. All you're really getting out of it is Phoenix credits, which are already kind of painful to farm. So that just takes a farming mechanic and expedites it.
Not if you run Lexington in 7 minutes. Some people
Yeah.
have been managing to do that.
OP strats for days.
Yeah.
See, that's just trading one grind for another.
Yeah.
The point is this expedites the process. And the purples that drop, for the most part, very few of them. I don't think I've gotten a single like legitimate
I just sold,
upgrade.
I sold mine for credits and got a ton of crafting material.
That's another thing. The division dailies, they need to up the item level and armor of the equipment and gear you get from the challenging dailies, because you're still getting like level 30 drops and compared to the 31
A
drops
level
that you
32
get
mission,
from
practically.
Yeah.
that you get from the same
But
people.
when you go into the dark zone and you
Yeah,
go to level
you're killing-
32, you can
You're
get
killing
32
you can
weapons.
kill level 30s in the dark zone and get level 31.
I got one
Like
yesterday.
item level 31.
I got
pieces
a-
I
of
think
gear.
that's necessarily
gotta-
correct. But if you go into level 32 dark zone, you have a potential to get a level 32 weapon.
I was in a level 30 easy yesterday, and I actually got, what is it, the what shotgun is it that's high end? The SAG or something like that? I
Yeah,
forget the-
SSG.
Yeah, SSG, that's what it is. I got that yesterday. It was a level 31 inside of a DZ that was level 30 characters.
Oh, dang.
Hmm.
Oh.
Come on then.
Well, shouldn't that be the case though? Like the Dark Zone, in theory, because it has potentially the highest risk of being killed by both NPCs and players, that should be the place where the best loot is retrieved from, should it not?
Well, to be fair,
But also, yes, challenging mode is more risky than
I agree. A lot more
Dark
enemy.
Zone.
You're fighting
You
a lot.
don't you don't
You
lose
waste
this-
a lot
you
more
don't
of your
lose
time if you
anything,
fail.
but you are a lot more vulnerable in the challenge missions.
But if you die and you had picked up a high-end item, you get to keep it and you get to try again. Ultimately, you can die as many times as you want and lose nothing, but just keep moving further and further. It takes more time, but there's less risk.
That is very true.
Yeah, I know in the Dark Zone today, Zap had to chase down this guy who stole his AUG after he killed him. It was a high-end AUG, too.
Yeah, it was a high-end dog.
Oh, man.
Well, guys,
Here's how I got it.
Did you get it back or no?
Like, I killed a dude that was about to put his stuff on the rope, and I took his AUG, ran down the road, lost my timer. This dude killed me, took the AUG, and then I chased him down all the way up to Dark Zone 6, killed him, and took the AUG back and extracted it.
So you were trying to steal back what you had already stolen.
Yes, basically.
all right. So I think we've touched on the division enough here. Going upwards towards I think like 45 minutes now in the division. Let's move on to
Yeah,
let's move on to some.
Yeah, let's go to the April update on Destiny.
Yeah, let's go ahead to that, Gabe. Let's get your opinion on this this update coming out. Give us some thoughts, expectations, and predictions, maybe.
Okay. I've been the biggest proponent in this group of being hopeful for the future of Destiny. And, the most recent thing, the most upcoming thing is the April update. I am going to be honest. I was expecting a bit more, but that was because I had kind of forgotten that they had set the tone and said that this is a live team event, but it's also the biggest live team event we've seen so far. Well, it's not even an event, just like content from the live team. So I was hoping for revamped Crota Zen Vault of Glass because I really, really desperately want to re-experience those raids. And I want to take new players like my brother through it, even if there was no rewards. I would love to do it at level 40 or level 40.
I mean, at least they're bringing something back. They're bringing back Prison of Elders.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
That's not what you wanted. We want Vault of Glass, baby.
Yeah, I'd probably prefer.
What we're getting is kind of what I expected. I didn't expect anything big or anything. I certainly didn't expect anything to do with a raid. So getting a revamped Prison of Elders and some new gear and a new light level, that was about what I expected. I do, however, 100% expect it in our update later on this year. If we don't get a raid then, we're going to have some problems. New raid.
Quite honestly, as you guys know, I've been one of the biggest critics of Destiny as of late, not getting my hopes up about this update. But I've got to say, honestly, I'm going to be focusing more time back onto Destiny with this update. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about the Prison of Elders being reintroduced. Excited about new gear coming out, but please just make it drop more often. If it's going to be legendaries, just make more legendaries drop often, please.
Make more.
I'm looking forward to being a Taken. That
is
shader, it looks awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Shader, dude.
By the way,
Get that freaking Taken Ghost as well.
excited for Destiny.
What'd you say, Ezio?
I said thank you, Planet Destiny, for making Groot excited for Destiny.
Seriously.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not excited about this update at all. But after reading up on it and stuff with the new stuff coming out, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting the raids to come back as revamped year 2, but at the same time I'm kind of looking at it like they're trying to focus like 80% of their team right now on Destiny 2, which is understandable.
And the upcoming expansion.
Exactly, and the upcoming expansion in fall. So my thing at it is like am I gonna really be upset about them not bringing up a level, up to a level 40 or 42 version of Fog or Rhoda? And not at this point, or not at this time, because I'm expecting a lot to come out of Destiny 2. I think they've finally realized what they did wrong and what they can do to fix it. And to see them to be able to do that, and I think they can conquer it, I think the Division is going to motivate them to do a lot better now. Because they've got competition out. Even though Destiny is sci-fi and the Division is more, futuristic, kind of real-life stuff going on, I think it still proposes a competition.
Yeah, I mean, a large player base cut happened when the Division launched. And I'm gonna take a moment to comment on this. I've listened to a lot of podcasts from a lot of different people talking about The Division and about Destiny because I am obsessed, quite frankly, and I eat up every bit of news and discussion I can get my hands on.
We know.
And there's this thing that everybody, especially Planet Destiny and Crucible Radio, talk almost every week about the connection issue with matchmaking, and especially like in the Crucible, because that's all they can do right now. There's no PvE, so they're playing Crucible and the connections suck. And I keep waiting for somebody to mention player populations, and nobody seems to. They keep talking about like, oh, well, they made these changes and it seems like it got better. Now it's terrible. Truth is, there's not nearly as many people online playing Destiny right now as there was 6 months ago, even as there was 3 months ago. There's still a lot of people playing, but so many people are playing other games or just not logging on in general because they're bored with the game, that the game has no choice. Even with the proper algorithms, there's such a smaller number of people to choose from that it's going to have to expand its reach to other countries and, all the way across the world to try and find a good connection and a balance of skill-based matchmaking. So I think this is temporary. It probably won't get insanely better with the April update. It's going to pull some people back. I don't know how long it's going to hold the majority of the people that come back, but definitely by the next expansion, I think connections are going to be the best we've seen in a really long time.
I agree as well. I think they're going to really strengthen and focus on that. That's their biggest complaint probably by far from what I've seen is, getting...
That's basically they've gotten the connection issues in Crucible.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the biggest issue that people had with Destiny. It's not just the lack of content, but that connection issue. And I mean, it has gotten a lot better from what I've seen. I haven't played much Destiny as of late. Gabe, you probably, or AP, you'd probably be the one to really go say that and kind of bring out, if that's still happening. But from when I played, I haven't really gotten disconnected all that much.
Same here, Tyler. I haven't played that much over the past month. I mean, I have played. I tried going into Trials with Gabe a couple of weeks ago. But basically what you've done, mentioning this update to me over and over again, has basically, like, injected me with hype. You strapped me down to a leather chair and put the hype in my veins. Got me going now.
Oh, yeah.
It's like heroin.
It's good. It's good to see that, me getting motivated about this is helping other people get motivated on it, because, the Super Fun People was originally, developed from the Destiny community, and that's the community that I really want to be in. That's the game that kind of solidified this multiplayer aspect of gaming for me. So regardless of where Destiny is going to be, whether it's at a lack of content, or it's just outdated in terms of stuff, I mean, I'm still going to support it one way or another now. It's just, it's a great game, and I thoroughly
A lot
enjoy
of us
it.
here have met through Destiny as well. I know I met Gabe through LFG doing Trials of Osiris.
Who's Gabe?
I mean, Apologia, AP, whatever. And I've met him through LFG on Trials of Osiris. And during that, Gabe was playing Trials one day.
Who's Gabe?
Okay, AP met Groot through a Trials game. So.
Yeah.
Before AP goes into a story about how they met, because it's totally hilarious.
It's a beautiful story.
Mine is kind of interesting because I feel like Destiny can be a social game. I met Zap first out of all these. What happened was we were in the Reef. I was kind of on my own for the longest time in Destiny, and all of a sudden I just get a random message, "Hey, you want to do the Nightfall?" And then that's how I know this lunatic called Zap. And I met AP through him, and eventually I met Panda through all three of them, and then I feel like Destiny is a social game because of that experience, and now I know all these lunatics.
Absolutely, and AP and I actually have a funny story too. Is I was doing trials one day, and I'm always looking for fun people to play with and game with in Destiny. So I'm playing with Bohannon and Sleeping Monkey, and we're going against these guys who AP is using a No Land Beyond. One of his teammates, Swamp, is using a Murmur, and I said, what the heck to that? This is going to be such an easy match. And then one of the other guys was just using ordinary weapons. I think it was Troll was using
Troll's cool.
Last Word, maybe.
He was using the meta, whatever it was at the time.
Either that or
Amen.
Thorn. I don't remember getting shot by Thorn though.
Last Word.
anyways, it was last word probably. And it got to the point where the AP was wrecking us with his no land. Sniping us when we were hard scoping. And it finally got down to 4-4. And we were pretty positive we were gonna win, but nope, the AP and his team came out of nowhere and just whooped us. At the end of the game, most people would expect to get a message of rage and stuff, but no, I sent AP like, hey, you guys are using out of the meta guns. Like, you guys are using fun guns. Like, you're trying to have fun. And that's what those are the kind of people we like the game with. And that's how AP and I met.
I'm just going to add on to the end of that. So when I received that message, yes, I'm very accustomed to receiving horrible, just like destructive, terrible messages from people trying to ruin my day because I just beat them in a video game. And but I like to take it. I say bring it on. The more you throw at me, the better I feel, because I know how you're feeling to have to send that message. So I'm with my dudes, and I get a message after that game, and I'm like, oh, okay, hey guys, I just got a message. Like, oh, what's it say? So I'm ready. I'm like, okay, here it goes. I open it up expecting 30 characters of misspelled curse words and derogatory
My God.
names, and instead it's like it was so long it actually split up into 2 messages. It was a small novel of him commenting on our playstyle, our unorthodox weapon choice, explaining who he is, who they are, the super fun people, of which we are all now a part. And yeah, it took me completely by surprise, and we ended up entering into a conversation and hopped into a party the next day, and the rest is history.
Definitely sounds like Groot.
Yep. That's
so
me.
Yeah.
Based upon that though, what do you guys think? What year 1 exotics do you think they're gonna bring back? I'm hoping. I know they're not gonna bring a Galahorn year 2 back because I'll read.
Dang it!
I will read a quote from Eurogamer that I found. And this is basically Bungie saying, we've been pretty upfront about saying Galahorn isn't coming back this year. That's basically year 2. But in a world where Friesel, which is the Galahorn creator, Crux's great creation returns, it won't be the Slayer of Gods that it once was. That kind of gives us hope that we're going to see a Galahorn year 3 at earliest from that point, but it's not going to be the gun that we once remembered.
I don't really care about Galahorn.
I don't either. I mean, I'd rather have an Icebreaker at this point.
Icebreaker, Universal Remote.
Yes.
Bring him back, baby.
Yes.
Thorn made into the Rose, dude. Rename that.
No, I just want Thorn to die out.
Give it some of that metal. Make it look completely silver, dude. It looks so cool.
Thorn terrifies me.
Into Crota a bit. I want it to never exist.
I want Thorn to exist, but I want it to take a year off, go see the world, just have some experiences away from PvP, and then come back in year 4 and be like, hey guys, I missed you. And be like, I don't hate you anymore.
Yes.
Let it go get married to the let it go get married to something like the last word, and
first curse,
and they'll turn miserable or something like that, and it'll be good.
Bro, in this analogy, you have to realize if Thorn and Last Word get married, can you imagine what their baby would be in the Crucible?
The ultimate sniping handgun.
Oh God!
Fully automatic Thorn. You know how terrifying it would be. You know how much you would run. Your character would lose 100 pounds in one match, dude. And if you're a freaking EXO, no, you'd run out of oil. No, you'd run out of gas. I don't care what you'd run out of. You would run out. You would be running the entire time.
I would be screaming like a little girl, not gonna lie. I'd be like, ah!
So, just another normal trials map for...
Oh, no.
Oh, no, please don't hurt me.
Now, when you say automatic Thorn, all I can think of is the Vex Mytho class back when it was in its prime.
Oh God!
Oh!
No.
You entered in that match, and
that
when
thing
hearing
was
that weapon, you knew
you know
you
that
lost.
thing, shoots,
You
metal
knew you weren't
snakes?
winning.
I would love to see a year 2 Necrochasm.
Yes, please.
Dude, they changed the weapon. They changed it around, and they did not make a year 2 counterpart after they fixed it.
I would
They made
love
it
from
to
being
so
such a
good.
terrible weapon in
It's so good
PvP.
at PvP, but they did not think to make it into a year 2. I'm so disappointed. Well, first off, I'm disappointed because I still don't have a necrochasm.
Me neither.
Through you, Crota.
If I could give you guys one of my 2 extra cruxes, I would. Trust me.
You know what?
That, or I could just buy a necrochasm from the thing and give it to you.
Yeah,
I wish.
That too.
Look, slight curveball. April, we're going to be playing some Destiny. Can we please get a group together to run some Crota? I really, really want a necrochasm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would always.
I'm gonna be running that Prison of Elders LFG like it's no one's business.
Yes.
Yes.
Back to the good old days.
We'll be trying to get you people who do not have flawless raider on Crota. That's how I got mine. Year 2 style.
Oh, yep.
Oh,
I
I'll-
helped you out with that, Tyler.
Never
That,
really
I remember
intended
doing
on
that
getting
with,
mine, but
Who did we do
whatever.
that to? We did that with Crota's
fucking
ads,
Gabe, or AP over here, apparently got his on
Who did
freaking
we?
Vault of Glass.
What did you say,
I got a lot
Tyler?
of things from Vault of Glass.
Yeah,
Tyler?
Flawless
What did
Raider.
you say?
I said, yeah, we did that with Crota's end, right? The gamer tag.
Yeah,
Crota's
we
End
did it.
wasn't-
I don't think we did.
No, we
do
definitely
it?
did.
Yeah, we did.
Regardless.
Yeah.
You know, that's. I would love to be able to do that. Try and get
See,
you guys a necrochasm.
I'm the only reason you guys got flawless raider because I'm the best sword bearer there can possibly ever be.
I don't know, man. I played with this one whole world something. I don't know. He was Australian, and he was really good. We were on hard mode, and he almost did it in one run. It was impressive.
Talking about Ezreal and his amazing accent.
No. Somebody else. It was whole world lot of. I don't know. I'm not gonna give out his gamer tag, but that's.
All right, guys. I have one more thing that we need to talk about before we disembark from this Destiny excursion. So, since PvP has really been the only consistent form of entertainment for the vast majority of people playing Destiny that are tired with the content, scrimmages. So scrimmages, it's been referred to as sweaties. Some people from the Call of Duty community just call it competitive play. I choose to call it scrimmages because you're getting 2 teams together. This is something that we have done one time as super fun people, just to mess around, and it was probably the most fun I've had in PvP ever. Trials is heart-pounding and thrilling, at least it used to be. But this was legitimately brilliant fun, and there's a whole sub-community in Destiny that does this. They find people. It's like an internal scrimmage LFG system. Like Crucible Radio has a Slack where they do that. And I would love to see if not only like people who are interested in PvP that are a part of this community, I would love to see us get into that deliberately, or especially we start hosting our own scrimmages and we can invite other people that aren't in the community and try and just meet new people and have fun in one of the most awesome activities the Crucible can have, since we don't have custom games.
You know, I can attest to that because I actually did this with an old group maybe back a couple months ago, and I think it was still year 1. No, it was year 2. And we just all used hard lights, and let me tell you, that was fun. Just seeing a bunch of white lights just running like, I'm talking like this is like 3v3, like everybody using hard lights in this small room just shooting it. It was like a disco party going on, except I felt like these lights were going to blind me. But it was fun.
He's gonna have an epileptic seizure.
Most fun that I ever had in Destiny was the ability to do that.
We got to get a bunch of gunslingers and Rumble and just play throwing knife melees only.
That sounds fun. Now that sounds really fun.
Okay,
Hey, Groot.
Yes.
there's this game mode that Dado on YouTube showed off where you play the gunslinger. Everyone plays as a gunslinger, hunter, and Rumble, and you're only allowed to use throwing knives and trip mines.
Whew.
And what they did is
Oh
they
God.
a mayhem match. So they instantly had the throwing knives and trip mines. And so they get into a small area of the map, and they just start throwing the trip mines everywhere, and it was just hilarious. And I want to do that. The only other one that I want is being able to do a custom game where everyone uses Sleeper Simulant.
Oh.
That sounds amazing. Terrifying. I can see myself killing myself with the sleeper already multiple times.
I did that.
No,
I
remember
did that in Vault of
something with the
Glass. Hold up. I did that in Vault of Glass one time. A Minotaur walked right up on me on the right conflux, and I was shooting up at the top of it, like at its head for some reason, and I hit the rock behind it. It bounced off that rock, went straight back off like a little wall, and then went straight down into the top of my head and killed me. It
Remember
was
that.
so funny. It was just retarded.
that. In that same game, we put the bubble up at the middle conflux, and we all got in the bubble and shot a freaking sleeper stimulant round, and it bounced off and killed us.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have that
that was
recorded.
fun.
I have that recorded.
I
somewhere
have
on
that
my
recorded
Xbox.
as well.
It's
Anyway,
somewhere.
what I was
Same.
gonna say before Ezio started talking was Tyler, you know what else is gonna be aesthetically pleasing in the new update?
What?
Taken sword.
Really?
Yes,
Is
that is true. There is going to be a new sword.
that
I
is
forgot.
pretty? I didn't even see that. That sounds pretty awesome.
Last time. Taken sword.
It's
Spoiler
it's the new. It's with the Titan with the new armor. He's holding the sword. It's like this weird, like purple glow, like close to the void. However, it has this like weird aura to it. I guess it looks really cool, and I cannot wait to see how we get in and how it does.
Bit of a segue. What if they add a new subclass?
They're not going to.
Nope.
That's
They've
going to
already
be a
used up all
DLC expansion type thing. That's not going to be a update.
Yeah,
type
they've
thing.
already used up all the subclass slots.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like
doubt
later
they'll
on they're
add
gonna get
another
new
one.
Add
subclasses.
another one. You never know.
I doubt
we
they'll
want
add another
subclasses later
slot in
Well-
year one in the Destiny 1, like the
Always
OG
hope
Destiny.
that you can be a Taken warlord with your freaking Taken powers.
They might add that in Destiny 2.
I feel like with the new with the subclasses and everything, that's not going to be in this update, and I don't feel like it's going to be in the expansion coming up. It's still going to be waiting on that new raid. But if they are going to add a new subclass, it will probably be Destiny 2
I
next
agree.
year. If they are going to add one in general.
I agree. That's something that I see happening in Destiny Year 2, or not Destiny Year 2, Destiny 2. So I think we've talked about Destiny and the update for enough now. Let's move on to our third topic. Cross-platform gaming and backwards compatibility. This is a big thing right now. Microsoft just announced, or Rocket League, I don't know who their dev is or their developer is, but they just announced that they were going to be doing cross-platform gaming.
It's like Psionics or whatever.
Yeah, it's something like that. But they were going to announce they were going to do cross-platform gaming for the PS4 and Xbox One and PC. Is that what it was?
Yes.
And you know, Microsoft openly said that they want to try and get you know, cross-platform gaming across multiple consoles. You know, and I saw a couple misleading articles that said Sony directly responds to Microsoft on this, when it was actually just Sony saying, you know, broadcasting to all developers and publishers and, you know, people like that, saying, you know, if you're interested in doing this, you know, let's talk. And you know, ever since the Phantasy Star Universe days on the PS2 or the PS1, I think it was PS2.
Those two.
Yeah, it was two. Ever since those days, you know, that Sony supported cross-platform gaming by connecting Phantasy Star Universe on PS2 and the PC. So I feel like if, you know, any developer or any company came up to Sony and the deal was good, you know, I'd feel like they would be pretty supportive of that.
Yeah, I agree. I remember hearing initially that Fable Legends was going to have PC and Xbox. Well, of course, this is before I believe Fable Legends was actually canned. I'm a little bit mad at that. But yeah, I feel like if they do go through with the cross-platform play, it will definitely help with just gaming in general. I'm not going to be happy though until all of them decide to actually make a console together. But this is a good step forward.
Never gonna happen.
God.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
never going to happen. I'm waiting for the day. It's just never going to happen.
yeah, it's just
You know what? I tell you what, that'll happen the day they announce making a Final Fantasy VII. Oh wait a second.
No, you're thinking of the day they announced Half-Life 3.
yeah.
Yeah, but I remember one time. I don't know if it's like was real or not. It could have been a fake post or whatever. But I remember on Reddit one time I seen where like someone had mentioned like for all the people wishing that Apple makes a gaming console, they actually did. But I kind of wish they'd make a modern one just to see what it's like.
I don't know.
I don't-
I don't know how I feel about that. Apple console, $800.
I don't want another console, guys. I want PlayStation and Xbox to get along. I want to be able to play Destiny with double the player population, actually bigger, because I
That'd be
mainly
cool.
play on Xbox and there's more people on
That would-
PlayStation because of the stupid exclusive content and the
Yeah.
console wars. Can't we
It's not
all just
that
play
much
along?
value.
Let's just play games. They're meant to be fun, not meant to put each other's throats.
And that's another issue with cross-platform gaming too. Is if they were to connect these two consoles, they would literally have to do away with the PlayStation or Xbox exclusives because they'd have to, they'd have to kind of combine these two games together, and they can't just limit the PS4 to have or limit the Xbox One to not having content that the PS4 can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still, briefly on that, I feel like the whole exclusivity should not have been a year. It should have been like a month. And on that, it should have been also that Xbox got something. Like, say, PlayStation got Monte Carlo and Xbox got Fourth Horseman, and they both got Hawk Moon. I feel like it should have been that.
Xbox got Fourth Horseman. You know how much I would have used that in Trials? You have no idea.
But then if we started like using cross-platform, then the only reason to get the other system, it wouldn't be for exclusives anymore. It would be for whichever one feels better to you.
Yep.
At that point.
So another thing that's going on is our compatibility with some of the games coming out that we're starting to be able to play again on the Xbox Ones that were on the 360. I noticed that in the recent spring sale on Xbox, they are selling Fallout 3, they are selling BattleBlocks Theater, and I can't remember some of the others, but they're selling some older games on the Xbox One now, and I'm happy to see that.
Here's my thing about backwards compatibility. It's a great idea. They need to perfect the performance on it right now. You go into it and in the frame rate is so horrible. There's a delay. I'll press the A button and then 2 seconds later it'll actually make my guy jump on whatever game I'm playing. That's the problem. They need to work out the performance in order to make it work. I think it's an absolutely astounding idea, and that the ability that they managed to do that is very impressive. But I like to see them kind of get the bugs out before they start really making a big focus on it. But once they fix it, I'm really hoping that Red Dead Redemption comes out on it and such like that.
It was for like 2 days on accident, and then they took it back down because there was an issue because it didn't get greenlit. But so many people saw that it was on there, so they started playing it, and then it's like, oh crap, we didn't greenlight this, let's take it off. So it can be on there. All they do is they have to flip a switch.
Absolutely.
Another
I wish they
game.
would like bring back Black Ops and some other like bigger titled games like Halo Reach and Halo 4.
That one's on the way.
I
Halo
know
Reach
Black
is
Ops
already
is on the
here.
way. I wish they'd freaking bring it sooner though.
Halo Reach is already here.
Is it? Yeah, it is here.
Oh my bad. I meant Halo 4.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't say
Yeah.
that.
Halo 4 is technically here.
Halo
It's in the Master
4.
Chief Collection.
Amazing.
Yeah, Halo 4 is in the Master Chief Collection.
I've been
Feel like
waiting
just
so
want
long.
Backwards compatible.
I just want Skate 3 because I want
Oh my god.
Danny's Mega Ramp. I want the dam where you drop into the dam and ride through all the tunnels. Like, I literally will buy that game for those two things. I want the BioShock series. I played one. I didn't finish it. This was back before I took games seriously. Never played 2. Heard amazing things about the whole series, especially Infinite. And I thought I'd never get to play it because I don't have a 360 and I'm not going to buy one. But now it's been on the list and it's not coming out again.
I thought Skate 3 was already on backwards compatibility.
Nope.
No,
It's on the list of upcoming titles, but
That's
It
right.
is on the list.
It's on the list with BioShock and BioShock 2 and Infinite, right?
Yep.
And Black Ops. Yep, that's right. Okay.
Yep, that's what I want. All right, guys. Well, we've definitely exceeded an hour, which is our target time. What do you say we wrap this up?
Absolutely.
Yep, all good.
All right, so thank you, everybody who is listening to this. No one live, not yet, but anyone who's listened to this after the fact. Once again, my name is AP.
And my name is Groot.
I am HPO.
My name is Pandemonium or Panda.
And I'm a wild Zappa
A wild Zappa Thank you so much for joining us on the very first Super Fun podcast. And if you would like to learn more about our community, and if you would like to interact with the community and have some fun with us, you can find us at www.thesuperfunpeople.com. And we were also on Twitter at superfunpeople. Thank you so much. We'll see you in a week.